Hello, I'm Dr. Caldwell with Phoenix Mobile Veterinarians, and today I'd like to help you better understand canine heartworm disease. Together with my assistant Rebecca, we're going to answer some questions for you.
Dr. Caldwell, what is heartworm disease and how can it affect my dog?
So, heartworm disease is a parasite. It's different from other parasites as well. Most parasites live in the GI tract, so the guts of dogs. However, heartworm is very, very specific in the fact that it lives inside the heart and lungs of your dog.
How would my dog catch heartworm?
So heartworm is spread actually by mosquitoes. So what happens is it takes a mosquito to bite an infected dog, and then in turn have that exact same mosquito bite your dog. If your dog gets heartworm, it's then going to grow that worm inside its heart, and usually typically grows to about 9 to 12 inches long, so very, very long.
What are the signs in my dog that would indicate they may have heartworm?
So the clinical signs of heartworm disease can actually vary quite dramatically. It can be anything from a slight cough, sneeze, to a heavy cough, a heavy sneeze. You can even see muscle wasting, what's called exercise intolerance. So they just don't seem to have the energy level that they used to. But it really can be everything from a mild cough to an animal that looks like they're losing weight and really debilitated.
What can be done to stabilize my dog's heartworm disease?
So, if you suspect that your dog has heartworm, and if we're already talking about stabilizing, you really need to speak with your veterinarian because there are some medications that we can start them on just to help stabilize them. But really, in the meantime, one of the most important things that you can do as an owner is to just keep the pet calm. Okay, so restrict exercise. In some cases, you actually have to kennel or cage them just to keep them from running around because remember that parasite's in the heart. The heart pumps blood, and so we just want to keep them at a very significant resting state.
How soon should I bring in my dog to see a veterinarian for heartworm prevention?
Well, we recommend starting puppies on heartworm prevention. So, really, at your first visit with your veterinarian, as a puppy around 6 to 8 weeks of age, we're going to start talking about heartworm prevention. But if you get an older doggy, if you adopt them at any age, I recommend that when you do bring them in, that you speak with your veterinarian about heartworm prevention.
How will a veterinarian diagnose if my dog has heartworm?
So there's a couple ways that we can actually diagnose if your dog has heartworm disease. Typically what we do is we actually take a couple drops of blood. There's a little test that we run. It takes about 8 minutes. And once we do that test, it will say yes or no to having heartworm. Now, other ways that we can check it is we can actually use blood and we can look at it underneath the microscope. But the first test that I mentioned where we take this 3 drops of blood and we run it in the 8-minute test is typically how we diagnose heartworm disease.
Why is early detection and diagnosis of heartworm so important?
Heartworm disease can have long-standing effects on the body. I mean, if you just think about it, it's a parasite in the heart and the lungs causing inflammation in those two organs. The faster that we can get on top of heartworm disease, the faster that we can treat it, ultimately the better prognosis our animal's going to have. Because even with complete treatment of heartworm disease, it's been proven that there's permanent damage inside the heart and lungs. So if we catch it early, if we treat it early, we can really mitigate a lot of these problems. If you have any other questions, give us a call at Phoenix Mobile Veterinarians.